Hey friends and fellow bibliophiles, welcome back to Kat's Novel Adventures. In today's video, I will be sharing everything I read for middle grade March, and I read some really wonderful books. Make sure to hang around until the end because I am giving away 5 copies of one of those books that I absolutely adored. Middle Grade March was hosted by 4 lovely ladies: Krista at Books and Jams, Amanda at The Curly Reader, Katie at Life Between Words, and Jenna at Jenna Reads and Writes on Instagram. They picked some terrific prompts as well as a wonderful group read, and I enjoyed attending their live streams on YouTube that were sprinkled throughout the month. The first prompt was to read an award winner, but not the Newbery, and I chose The Voyage of the Frog by Gary Paulsen. This won the ALA Notable Book for Children, and it is a survival story on the open sea. Gary Paulsen likes to write stories about adventure and survival, and this book has both. It is about a 14-year-old boy named David who inherits a sailboat from his Uncle Owen, who has recently passed away. And the name of the sailboat is the Frog. Uncle Owen requested that David please distribute his ashes out on the open ocean once he is gone. So David decides to honor his uncle's wishes and goes out on a day that looks rather lovely. Unfortunately, an unexpected storm quickly rolls in and causes David some really horrible circumstances. In fact, he is even injured in all of the tossing and turning of the storm. Now he has to survive and get back home. The Voyage of the Frog is a wonderful coming-of-age story that explores grief. It shows self-reliance in difficult circumstances, and it also is about overcoming fear. Despite not having any sailing experience myself, I did find it really interesting to learn the terms associated with sailing, and I also like the fact that this book included a section in the back that had a diagram of the sailboat. It also had a map of David's voyage. It included an interview with Gary Paulsen, as well as some extra information about nautical miles and knots, as well as great white sharks. I really enjoyed reading The Voyage of the Frog by Gary Paulsen. It was a 4-star read for me. I think anyone who likes a little adventure might want to check out this award winner. The next prompt was to read a sci-fi or dystopian book, and I chose A Rover Story by Jasmine Walger. This was also the group read for middle grade March, and it was fantastic. It is considered a middle grade sci-fi novel. I found it extremely heartwarming. It is about a rover named Resilience, or Res for short, who will be sent to Mars and do a little exploration. He develops human emotions just being around the 2 NASA scientists who are assembling him and getting him ready for his exploration. There are so many reasons to love A Rover Story. One is that you get the point of view of the little rover. The cast of characters are just delightful. He meets a drone who is to accompany him on his adventures, and his name is Fly, and their relationship is really cute. I love how the author uses imagination as well as scientific information to tell the story. One of the NASA scientists, Raina, has a young daughter named Sophie, and Sophie writes a series of letters to Rez, kind of talking about her feelings, and you also get a sense of how time is passing through these letters because it happens over a long period of time. I believe that Sophie is maybe around 12 when she first starts writing the letters, and then it follows her all the way up until she is an adult. This novel is about friendship, it's about family, it's about what it means to be human, overcoming obstacles, as well as the importance of home. I really enjoyed this story, and I did tear up a couple of times because the relationships or just the thoughts that Rez has are very touching. I highly recommend this 5-star read. I don't know, pick it up. See, I can't wait to read more of Jasmine Walger's work. I had wanted to read The Rise of the Princess for a book that was published in the last year, but I wasn't able to get to it. So I went ahead and chose Otter by Catherine Applegate. This book actually counts for a book with sea and sky, it has both, as well as a book that was published in the last year, which was 2022. This book is fantastic. The little otter named Otter is precious. It is a sweet little book about this little otter who is very curious and ends up having lots of fun, but also gets in lots of trouble because he is so curious. Early in his life, he actually gets separated from his mom, and he ends up going to a rehab facility, and they nurse him back to health and then reinstate him back into the wilderness. Of course, he's tagged, so they can kind of keep an eye on him to make sure he doesn't get into any further trouble. Unfortunately, his curiosity is just too great, and one day he and one of his otter pals end up being chased by a shark, and they get separated, and Otter gets injured, and he ends up back at the rehabilitation center. The rehabilitation center is actually at the Monterey Bay Aquarium in California. This is based on a true story. What I love is that they are really trying to protect otters. There was a decline in numbers, and because of this program, they have actually gotten the numbers up. It is a place that I would love to visit myself. I actually love learning about wildlife conservation. I personally would love to be a wildlife rehabber. It is one of my dreams on my list of 100 dreams. I have actually rehabbed squirrels and birds very briefly before I could get them to a licensed rehabber, but it is something I really would love to do one day. I love this story very much. I teared up several times throughout, especially towards the end. I just thought it was a lovely story. It's very sweet, it's very charming, very tender-hearted. I love learning scientific information about otters. I also enjoyed the fact that Catherine Applegate wrote it in free verse, which made it even lovelier. I really do love animals a great deal, and I really do applaud anyone who works in a field where they want to help wildlife or just animals in general. Anyone that has a soft spot for them and is willing to go the distance to help these creatures out, because they are wonderful. They're wonderful to have in our life. Otter is a new middle grade favorite of mine, and it is definitely a 5-star read. The final prompt was to read a book with a neurodiverse character. What exactly is neurodiversity? Neurodiversity describes the idea that people experience and interact with the world around them in many different ways. There is no one right way of thinking, learning, and behaving, and differences are not viewed as deficits. I chose The Insignificant Events in the Life of a Cactus by Dusty Bowling as my book with a neurodiverse character, and it was awesome. This is a heartwarming story about the value of friendship. It is about a young girl named Avon Green who is 13 years old and quite spunky. She enjoys playing soccer, hanging out with friends, and telling curious kids elaborate stories as to why she does not have arms. The truth of the matter is she was born without arms, but she does not let it define her, and she also doesn't let it stop her from living her best life. Unfortunately, her parents spring on her that they are moving to Arizona, where they are going to be the managers of a Western theme park. And this unexpected move presents a few challenges for Avon because she has to leave everything that she has known and everything that has made her feel comfortable up to this point to start a new life, go to a new school, and try to make new friends. I love the positive portrayal of children with disabilities in this novel, as well as the sensitivity towards children with body image issues. The neurodiverse character in the story is Connor. He's the same age as Avon, and he goes to her school. He has Tourette's syndrome, and they become really great friends. The two of them actually befriend another young boy who seems like he's like kind of an outcast as well as these two. It's a shame to say that that's what they're considered because they happen to be different. But they befriend Zion because Zion is dealing with being overweight and he doesn't feel comfortable in his own skin. So the three of them create a friendship that helps them navigate school, helps them face their challenges, and also to figure out how they can shine in their own way, because everyone is unique and everyone has unique gifts, and it's only fair that we all get to show our unique gifts in whatever the way that we can. And so I love how the three of them become friends, how they embrace their challenges, and how they rise above it. I also think this story has lots of heart, plenty of humor. I think Avon is hilarious. And it also just teaches you to be more open-minded about others and their differences. There also is a mystery in this story, which I thought was really great, and it does impact Avon and a few people that are in her life. I really cannot wait to read the sequel to this story, just to have more adventures with Avon and her two friends. This was a 5-star read for me. I thought it was absolutely awesome. I have one more book I want to mention that I read for middle grade March, and this was a selection for my book club, Chills, Thrills, and Kills, that I co-run with my friend Kelsi over at Slime and Slashers. We decided to pick a middle grade book in celebration of middle grade March, and I didn't think it really fit any of the prompts, but when I looked at the cover, it could have counted for Sky on the cover. And we chose rather, Vacancy by K.R. Alexander. It is a middle grade horror novel about a creepy abandoned hotel in a little town called Gold River. It centers around a young girl named Jasmine who recently moves to Gold River after the death of her mother. And she soon discovers that there is an annual tradition where children are dared to stay overnight in this hotel. So she and two of her friends decide that they are going to take the dare and do it. Unfortunately, there is a sinister ghost who has her own plans for the children this year. This is a supernatural, entertaining tale that has plenty of creepy vibes. I really like the fact that the author personifies the hotel and describes it as being hungry. There are quite a few creepy moments, especially one with a mirror, and the unexpected twist at the end was great. I gave it 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I think anyone who likes to read some middle grade horror might want to pick up Vacancy by K.R. Alexander. Okay, everyone, thanks for sticking with me until the end. It is now time to talk about the giveaway. I loved everything I read from middle grade March, and I had the opportunity to get 5 copies of one of the books that I absolutely adored. And that book is The Insignificant Events in the Life of a Cactus by Dusty Bolin. So yes, I have 5 copies, and I want to spread the love of this book with you. So if you are interested in getting a copy, I'm going to do a drawing for it. Just leave me a comment below saying that you're interested in a copy of this lovely book, and I will draw names, 5 names, and announce the winners at some point. The deal is I need to know by, let's say, Saturday the 22nd. I think that would be a great deadline. Just by end of the evening on Saturday the 22nd at 11:59 p.m. And then I can go ahead and draw some names and contact the winners, and then I'll be happy to mail you a copy of this awesome book. Thanks everyone for stopping by. I really appreciate you. I had a blast during middle grade March. I loved everything I read throughout the month. How about you? Did you participate in middle grade March? What was one of your favorites? Let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, stay amazing and be adventurous. And don't forget to participate in my giveaway.